So Cozy Week is exactly what it sounds like. So if you were here in autumn, if you remember, I mentioned Bread Week. It's kind of the basic curriculum rhythm. Whether you were here in autumn or not, this week also really shows you our basic curriculum at its core. So if you're easing into our curriculum or kind of newer, or if you have a younger one, this is a great week that really guides you through just the gentle rhythm at its simplest. And if you're ever overwhelmed or ever don't feel like you're up for all the seasonal crafts, come back to this kind of week and you can just do these things on repeat. If you have a 2-year-old or a littler one, or if this is your first year with us, this week is a really great week to just repeat and really settle in so you can just feel the rhythms of your homeschooling. So we open up with our Cozy Week story. And this is a really sweet story because the title of the story is The Winter King. And all the gnomes are at Puddle Bloom's house and he is telling a story. So this is a story about storytelling, and you get to hear Puddle Bloom recall some of his adventures when he was a younger gnome on his way to meet the Winter King. Now, if you listened to our The Story of Winter's Day Winter Special, you'll kind of get a little bit of a sense of some of the background of the Winter King and all of these characters. So I highly recommend listening to that before this, and it'll give you a little more context. So all the gnomes are gathered up, and so you're hearing the story of Puddle Bloom journeying to Winter's Peak, and he meets Alistair Owl and he flies him up to Winter's Peak. So it's a very it's very fun, and so the gnomes are just cuddled up. So we have 3 songs here this week actually, and so as I always say with songs, if you want to just pick one, well, go ahead and listen ahead. You certainly don't have to fit all 3 songs into your circle time. Pick one and focus on that. I'd probably recommend focusing on the Winter King song. It's pretty simple. And even if you just focus on the first verse of one song is great for a circle time. So we give you a lot of options of a lot of songs, but remember, just pick your favorite, just pick the first verse, learn those few words and repeat it with your children. The Winter King is a really fun song for the beginning of January, but we also have Introduction to Sir Alistair Owl and this beautiful Flying Upon Wings song that really feels like it takes you through the sky. So a really fun, cozy story. They're all cuddled up for tea as they listen, so you can do the same as you listen to that audiobook that will be released before this week. And then we'll get into our curriculum this week. As I mentioned, it's very simple. We get back to our cinnamon clove Play-Doh, which is cozy and nourishing, and you have your gluten-free option. Then our main activity for day 1 is folding towels. This is Living Arts Day at its finest, a very simple life skill that we're going to do with our children. We have a little rhyme that you can sing here, and just fold towels. I've always been surprised at how lovely this activity goes with your children, and just fold with them. You can do it as a pair, show them how to line up the corners, and it can just be a really calm way to slow down and just bring them along life, because life is the curriculum, and so we want to weave this in a way that feels really nourishing for both ourselves and for them. So towel folding, super simple, but honestly one of my favorite activities to do with children. My son absolutely loves folding towels, so you'll be surprised at how charming it can be. Our day 2, baking day morning, instead of a craft or an activity, I'm actually going to just encourage you, have a cozy story time corner. Put up some pillows, make something cozy, and really take some intentional time to pick out a few favorite books, maybe play the audiobook, whatever you'd like, but make a cozy space for your children to really encourage the love of hearing stories, because stories are so good for our soul, young and old. And so if we want to encourage that love of stories, we want to encourage them picturing what's happening in their heads to strengthen those minds and the imagery and imagination in their heads. So cozy up, make a story cozy corner, read them some books, play the audiobook, and have a really cozy time. Now our baking day, our recipe for the week is orange cranberry scones. These are delicious, but I have a few tips. One, while it's still December, if you want to use frozen whole cranberries for this recipe, buy them now because they will be gone in January. Right now, cranberries are pretty easy to find in the store. If you want to use whole fresh cranberries, grab a bag and stick them in the freezer. But in one year, I forgot to plan ahead and I could not find any cranberries in January, and I used just dried craisins, dried cranberries, and it was also really delicious. And I can't can't decide which I like better. So if you want to use dried cranberries, you can do that because they're kind of pre-sweetened, so it made it a little sweeter. But the whole fresh cranberries are also great for kind of a little tartness. So either way, plan ahead if you want to put a bag of cranberries in your freezer. If you don't want to worry about it, craisins and dried cranberries are a great swap too, and they make a very, very delicious scone. Now, scone making is a little bit more of an advanced baking skill. So approach this with grace, and this is might be a learning curve for you both. This isn't as simple as, say, just kneading bread dough. So some of you after all of December might want to actually skip this recipe and use our just Wondergarten wheat bread recipe that you'll find in the next week. If you just want to make up some bread dough and have your children just enjoy kneading, you can do that too. But if you're up for a delicious little scone that your children can eat as they listen to the story about the gnomes eating scones, reading stories, you can make these. You'll cut in the butter, you'll shape the little scones, and they are really delicious and worth the effort if you're up for it. So some options there. Of course, you have a gluten-free option for those as well. And then our painting day. This is, again, painting day at its simplest, at its core. Our morning activity, beeswax crayons, or just free drawing with whatever you have available. Let your children have some free drawing time. And our main lesson is painting. But if you want to add a little extra fun, you can do a wax resist. So with a white beeswax crayon, you can draw some snowflakes or maybe an icy castle or whatever you might like. And then prepare for wet on wet watercolor. I do have a YouTube video on how to prepare for wet on wet. That's a public video that's staying public. So if you go to our YouTube, search wet on wet, you can see how I prepare. You soak your paper, prepare your liquid watercolor. And then if you're doing wet on wet, I would recommend drawing with your white beeswax crayon before you soak your paper. And then as that paint just kind of disperses on the paper, it will reveal what you drew. And it's a really sweet, simple, but really sweet, fun activity for children to just really experience the color. I'll recommend just doing blue, just one color, so that they can really just soak it in instead of getting too distracted by all the colors. Sometimes one color is just a really nice activity. So a simple week. You're gonna fold towels, you're gonna draw, you're gonna paint, you might make something yummy, and you'll have a really cozy story to go along with it.